Welcome to the Renault Austral E-Tech Hybrid Iconic Esprit Alpine. That's a big name for a big car. This is an all-new, brand-new, full hybrid SUV from Renault. And the name Austral, well, it means southern winds. So will this car blow its competitors away? Only time will tell. My name's Duncan Vincent. This is the Arnold Clark YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notification there so you never miss an upload from us. And let's go and see what the Austral is all about. Let's take a look at what the styling features on the front of the Austral are like. But before we get there, we can talk a little bit about the evolution of the car, because it replaces the outgoing Renault Kadjar, or the Kadjar, or the Kadjar, depending on however you pronounce that. And it's up against some big hitting cars. The Austral comes in against the Kia Sportage, and it also comes up against the Hyundai Tucson. Two very nice SUVs. Depending on what variant of this car you go for, the higher up the chain, you may actually be pitched against the BMW X3, such as the luxury extras that you can get on the Renault Austral. As I stand and look at the front of it, I think the colour is striking. It's a blue colour. It's called iron blue, not iron brew. Let's not get mistaken here. It does come in a lovely grey shadow as well, another lovely colour of the car which promotes all its features. And when you start looking at the front of it, I'm a big fan of the lights. Now, lights aren't just for helping you see at night now, they're a huge styling point on any car, and Renault have gone the extra mile with these lights, these LED matrix vision lights. If you look in there, they've got honeycomb effect in the lights and they're stunning. Nice C shape as well, which brings you back in towards the lovely grille, which reminds me of the Peugeot 408 GT grille. You can see that in a video we've done. Have a little look in the corner there. And now look at the badge in the front of it, the Renault badge. It's like a new addition. It's like a digital effect of what the Renault emblem used to be like. But stunning front end, nice diffuser down the bottom, good lines up over the roof. Ultimately, lovely front end. Let's take a look at the side profile of the Renault Austral. And first of all, as you look at it, I like it. It's very elegant and it's not too busy, it's not too cluttered. Nothing's really jumping out at you all the time, but the bits that do jump out are the important parts of it, such as the Alpine badge here, the Esprit Alpine. Now, Renault use Alpine in their Formula One world to develop their hybrid technology, and that's where it filters down through the system. So your road car picks up some of that Formula One essence, and the hybrid technology that we have in the Austral comes from the Alpine Formula One car, and it's got lovely 20-inch Daytona wheels on it as well. Big fan of those alloy wheels. Make your way further down the side, you come past the door mirror which has blind spot detection in it, and you come back to your 4 control badge, because this car has 4-wheel steering in it, something that we'll get to sample on the road in the not too distant future. Can't wait for that. But I do like how it goes from blue to black. It's got a huge glass sunroof up here. Lovely for looking out the inside of the car, but the black also comes down the side and is draped over the back towards the fuel cap area. And because this is a full hybrid car, you don't plug in. The only thing you put in this car is either E5 or E10 fuel in the flap there at the back. The detail in the lights at the back is something a little bit special as well. Renault have their name in the side of this one, but wait till we get round the actual back of the car and you see some of the details in these lights. It's mind-blowing. Let's now take a look at the back of the Austral, because we did tell you there's a lot of detail in the lights, and come closer and have a little bit of a look. First of all, the general shape of the rear light mirrors what we have on the front of the car, just a little bit smaller, but that big C is very much there to be seen, and it marries in with the hips on the car, if you like. We're 6 inches away from having a light bar there, Renault. What happened to that last little 6-inch bit that we needed? That would have given us a full light bar, and it would have gone way up on the love list for Duncan. On the roof here, we've got a lovely spoiler which comes off. It's big enough to help with the aerodynamic efficiency, and has an extra brake light housed in the middle of there, nice and high up, so great visibility for cars who are following you on the road. The E-Tech hybrid badge is down the side here, and overall the whole thing just marries in really, really well with the bumper down the bottom. In there, your parking sensors are housed, and along with a 360 camera, which is tucked away underneath there, that'll keep you nice and safe when you're actually reversing. Now, the car doesn't have any swipey for the boot to open, unfortunately. But cue the boot button. Never rush perfection. We have got 430 litres of boot space in there just now. If you push the seats forward, they go forward 16 centimetres, you get 555 litres of boot space. Should you fold the seats down, 1,525 litres of boot space, more than enough for anybody to fill their car with whatever you need to fill it with. But the boot space with the seats up is fairly big, so you will be able to get the car full of all your holiday gear and the kids, and away you go. Closing the boot can be a problem for me, but ultimately I like the back of the car. What shall we do now? Let's jump inside. We've made our way into the cockpit of the new Austral, and this is where you see the Esprit Alpine version, and you can see all the extras that you get. And this is what makes you think, okay, this is a high-class car, and this is how it could be up against the likes of the BMW X3. For instance, the Alcantara on the dash and on the bottom of the steering wheel. The lovely embroidery around the steering wheel here, which shows you the tricolore, the Vive la France. It's also in the side of the seats, and you get some of that in the actual seat belt as well. There's lots of lovely little extra details in here. Don't get me started on the infotainment system, we'll come to that in just a minute. But when you're actually sitting in the car, first of all, it's got a footrest. That's a big winner for Dunk. There's also some nice rubber on the actual top of the pedal, so you do get a good feeling from your feet. Holding the steering wheel doesn't feel too bad. It's kind of a nice hexagon shape that's been rounded off, and there's quite a lot of stuff behind it though. You've got your driving control, your indicators, and you would imagine your wipers. There's also a music control, volume control down there as well, and your regeneration paddle. So there's a lot going on behind there right now, but once we get going, I'm pretty sure that will be all seamless for when we actually start to drive. Looking at the door itself, you've got more Alcantara along here, and the controls, so the mirrors and the door windows are there also. Some Harman Kardon speakers on the side there. The sound system in here, it's like sitting in an IMAX cinema once we get going. Just wait till we get some music on the go for you. Look at the actual colour across the dashboard as well here. That changes with whichever mode you fancy being in. Do you fancy feeling a bit sporty with me? All we have to do is push that and it goes into red. You can have a personal one as well, or you can be eco, or you can go back to just comfort, which is something Duncan does like. And speaking of comfort, the seats have a massage system built into them. You can have a lumbar, a dynamic, or just about a bit of everything thrown at you, whether you want to be massaged or not, and they're all multi-adjustable down the side here as well. And as you move yourself further forward there, as you can see, that's remembered by the onboard computer, and it asks you if you want to remember that setting for future use. Quite impressive at that. Storage, lots of it. Small glove box on that side, but don't let that put you off, because the door bins are big enough, and in the middle here, there's a big storage area here, and a further deeper one at the back. You did see me moving something there, didn't you? Yeah. It does look like a little bit like the Millennium Falcon or whatever else you want to look at, but it's ultimately a handrest for when you want to go into your infotainment system. More storage at the back, a couple of drinks bottles at the front with 2 USB-Cs and a 12-volt charger. It's also just quite nice to have your hand resting on that as you drive along. I like the inside of this car, it's pretty cool. It's very comfortable as well. There is a big sunroof, it doesn't open, but with one flick of this switch here, the blind can close or open fully. So far so good. The Open R-Link multimedia system in this car is something just a little bit special, and right now my iPhone is connected via Apple CarPlay wirelessly. Android Auto is also available and it's wireless completely. On the home screen, the Renault logo has appeared there, so if we push that, it takes you directly into the heart of the system, where there's so much you can configure for your driving modes, the seat, the air quality, some of the driving assistance. It's all there just at the touch of a finger. But the pièce de résistance for this car is it's very much Googled up. It's got the Google Store, Google Play, and also Google Maps. So let's wake her from her sleep and say, hey Google, plot me a route to Hillington, Renault.
Arnold Clark Hillington Renault is 12 minutes from your location by car in light traffic.
There we go. Google Maps, original and best, coming up. Hey Google, I love you.
I can't feel romantic love, but I think you are wonderful.
Well, at least somebody does. That's lovely. Great that that works, and it's voice activated, and you can also use your hands on that, no problem as well. Inside here, there's 12 Harman Kardon speakers, as well as a big subwoofer to give the bass that extra kick. And just have a listen to this. This may be a bit of music that you actually recognise, because it's our Arnold Clark music here from our YouTube channel. Feel that bass when it comes in. It's just like sitting in an IMAX cinema. It really is sensational. And in the Arnold Clark YouTube channel, there's some guy racing a BMW M3 competition down a runway against a genuine Vietnam warplane. That's got to be worth a watch. But just listen to that bass. Here we are in the back of the Renault Austral, and comfortable seats, yes they are. And the seat legroom is also adjustable. Look at that, you can move it forward or backwards, forwards or backwards. That's that 16 centimetres I was telling you about to give you that extra space in the boot. There's some storage on the back of the seats in the nets, and you've got two USB-C charging points, the same as the front for the passengers, a couple of air vents as well, and you've got the nice Alcantara finish on the door, which is good for your hand and arm to rest next to. Quite heavy privacy glass, which is good on the sunroof and on the side there, and we've got a little drink tray holder here, which gives a lovely armrest as well. Isofix, nice and easy to get to for any mums and dads or gran and granddads, and there's a seat belt, third seat belt here. Now, remember, I'm 6'2", give or take a few inches, and there's loads and loads of headroom in here. And I also like the nice finish on the roof there. It's not plastic, it's a lovely finish, which just makes you know that this car has got a bit of elegance about it. Unfortunately, it's a little bit mired, there's no through loading, but that's just one of these things you have to put up with in life. Only thing left for us to do is to take this car for a drive. Let's go. First impressions of the Renault Austral. On road, lovely, drives well. We're very much in the middle of the city centre, and it's driving on full hybrid power, and it regens the battery packs very quickly. I clicked up the paddles to its maximum regen purely because the battery was almost flat, and already I can see an improvement in the amount of battery life that I have. It drives the road very well. It doesn't have too much of a road noise on these very bumpy roads, and the suspension actually feels quite nice. There have been reports of it being maybe a little bit too rough from other people, but it's not the case, not the case at all. The steering wheel, lovely, it feels nice, and I did mention that I did like the steering wheel earlier on. Unfortunately, my hands do catch the buttons on the side of the wheels a little bit, but I've got big kind of mechanics kind of esque hands, so it's not the greatest thing for me, but it's a tiny, tiny minimal thing. It's comfortable to drive though, and I'm loving how it's clever enough to know when we're in an urban environment, it will automatically want to switch onto hybrid power. This version of the Renault Austral has link suspension front and back because it's got the 4-control steering option where all 4 wheels help the car steer and manoeuvre about the road. It also comes with a nice, I think it's quite a smooth suspension, although I have read somewhere people think it's stiff. The other versions of the vehicle have a rear torsion bar suspension system, which is a completely different setup. But this one, yeah, it's quite good. And on the 20-inch alloy wheels so far, driving about town, again, we're still on full EV, it's okay. So as we drive along just now, we are driving in eco mode. And on the display panel, it shows you exactly where your power and power source is coming from. Right now we're driving on full EV, which takes power from the battery and pushes it out towards the wheels. As we lift off, you can see the regeneration happens and it goes from the wheels and the brakes back in towards the battery. A very clever system. And every now and again, the engine kicks in to not only put power to the wheels, but it also powers back into the battery. It's a very clever system, and you don't feel that changeover that you feel in some cars. It's very, very seamless. Heads-up display is lovely. It's not busy, it's not cluttered. It doesn't have anything sticking up like in other vehicles. It's right in front of you there, 28 miles per hour in a 30 right now. We've then got the steering wheel with the paddles either side of it. I've got it maximum regen. I haven't changed from that since we actually left our destination. And then you've got the driving controls. I was a bit worried this might all feel a bit too busy in this one area, but the driving controls are high enough and out of the way. They don't look like they're not meant to be there, but it's okay. Wipers, indicators. I haven't even been near the volume controls as of yet. And I think in a minute or two, we're going to use the multi-sense button and we're going to hit Sport, just to see what it feels like and see what the dash looks like once it's illuminated with a different colour. Good vision in our mirrors there as we pull over in front of a big lorry. There was room though. And away we go. So let's push the sense button, multi-sense. Let's get her into Sport. And there we go. We're now in Sport. We get a red line across the whole dashboard and up the side of the doors for us. And the dash changes predominantly to red. So it looks like it's got a little bit more oomph, whatever oomph is. One thing Renault have always had is that noise for your indicator. Hear that? Never changed that, have they? Changed everything else, but they've never changed that. On the actual dashboard, you know exactly what mode you're driving in, be it petrol or hybrid, by the top left of the dashboard it tells me right now I'm in D for drive, and next to it the blue EV, which means we're in full hybrid mode, being driven on electrical battery power right now. That does change over and disappear, but as I've said already, it's a seamless change that you don't really notice. But we're going to do a bit of driving on the battery right now, because we have got so much juice back into it just driving around town. So it doesn't take long to put the hybrid power back into the battery pack so you can drive on full electric. I always thought plug-in hybrids were the way to go, but this is better. You actually plug and play, or splash and dash, or what do we call it? Plug and play. You plug and play yourself. The power source for this car comes from two options, as you're aware of. It's got the 1.2 turbocharged engine in the front of it, and there's also two electrical motors. There's a 400 volt battery in this car as well, and they're claiming WLTP is around about 683, and round about 80% of your town driving can be done, they claim, on full EV. Making our way out of town now. From 30 we're going up into a 40 mile an hour zone, and soon to be up to 60 miles per hour as well. And I'm an SUV kind of guy now. I like to be that little bit higher off the ground, so this is very much my territory. And vision in this car is lovely. It's a very small front pillar, doesn't take up too much of your line of sight as you're turning and looking through a corner. The door mirrors themselves, they're huge, absolutely huge. You can see everything you want to, and a little bit more in those door mirrors. And of course, let's not forget about the massive, massive glass sunroof in this car as well. It is huge. And we've got it open just now, just so we can take in some of the lovely summer that is above us here. It is, though, we've got to say, a very dark tint in that sunroof. But yeah, feels good, drives well, vision's good, door mirror's good, happy days. So the car has 4 gears for the petrol engine and 2 gears for the electrical. But combine them all together and it comes up with 15 options of how the gearbox actually works. It's all done through a series of electrical actuators inside there. It's a very, very clever piece of kit. And obviously, it's only 2 pedals, there's no clutch down there for your foot, and it's lovely to drive. And here we go, nice tight corner for us to use the 4 control through here. And in fact, the turning circle was pretty special in this car. Here's a little video we made earlier on. Have a look at this, roll VT. Renault claim that this Austral can outturn a Renault Clio in a turning circle challenge, which means it can do it in a smaller area, smaller radius. So we're going to put that to the test here at Arnold Clark. We're going to use this Renault Austral with its 4 control and see just how tight it actually turns. We're going to start on full lock, and away we go. On full hybrid power. Already it feels tight. And stop. There. Felt good. Let's go and grab the Clio. So in a world where every centimetre does count, let's see what the Clio's going to give us back. Full lock and round we go. Are we going to hit the cone? What's going to happen? I think we need to stop right there. Well, there you go. The Renault Austral can outturn a Renault Clio. On these country roads that we're on just now, the world famous speed humps are everywhere, and we all know what roads in the UK mainland are like just now. They're not the smoothest, and potholes seem to be more common than not having potholes. But yeah, don't believe all the hype you see and read online about the suspension of this car being too rough and the road noise being too great. It's not true. It's no different from any other car on any of these roads that I'm driving on. And we now come onto something that's lovely and smooth, like a billiard table, and the car's absolutely fine. So don't believe all you read. Try before you buy. So maybe you should get yourself to an Arnold Clark Renault dealer and see what the Austral is all about. As we make our way along this lovely little country lane, which should be an ideal stage for a rally, trust me, really good little road this. I put a destination into Google. I asked her, she said no problem, and it now pops up on my heads-up display as well, so it tells me in 0.1 mile.
Continue straight onto Waterside Road.
I want to continue straight onto Waterside Road. How cool was that? Now the 4 modes that the car has, the Comfort, Eco, Sport and the personalised one, which you can fiddle around with and have lots of fun, hours of fun, to set your own profile. They change how the delivery comes in with the power and how your regeneration on your paddles for whatever you fancy doing to it. They don't alter the suspension stiffness, they don't make the suspension any firmer. It's basically stock through all of the options that you can go through. But it's fine, it's good. It doesn't really need to be any stiffer, and I certainly wouldn't want it any softer, that's for sure. As for the brakes, I like the brakes. Sometimes it can on EVs be a little bit of a bitey sensation when you initially push the brake, but this isn't. Yes, the regeneration for me is as high as it goes, I like that, but also as I go onto the brake pedal, it's a nice smooth transition. It's not too much of a bite, which is also key on Duncan's love list. So not only is the Renault Austral a lovely car to drive, it's also a very safe car to drive. From following distance in front, you can set that to lane assist as well, lane keeping, blind spot detection, you name it, it has got it. But it's also got it in different degrees of sensitivity, from low through medium into high, so it can really move the steering wheel for you. It's a great feature, really is a great feature. I've also been using the volume controls quite a lot down here as well, which I find very easy to use. And the volume controls, a bit easier than using on the touchscreen, but then having said that, you could always just say, hey Google, turn up the volume.
Okay.
And then you can get some good music. So as I drive along at 60 miles per hour on this stretch of motorway, I like it. There's not a lot of wind noise. Even though those door mirrors are huge, you'd think you'd get a lot of kind of wind off them. There's not. There's not a lot of wind noise off the top of the car. And the 20-inch Daytona alloy wheels, I was expecting a bit of road noise from them because of the low profile of tyre, but it's not the case. It's really nice. It's enjoyable to drive. The weight of the steering feel is just perfect. And I think this would be a great car for taking you up and down the country, doing a lot of miles on any motorway. Renault will tell you that you can keep the EV on and drive up to 70 miles per hour with that. Well, I can agree with that. We were doing 65 miles per hour back there in full EV mode. So that's something else, an extra little charm that Renault have got with the Renault Austral. As we move back into the middle of some lovely urban areas, straight away it's gone back into EV mode. And I think the split between EV and petrol in this car is absolutely spot on. 80% of all your town driving or urban driving can be done in EV, and that's correct. It wafts along effortlessly through this lovely area that we're in. There are 3 models of this car. You can get the base Techno, which starts at £34,600, just a whisker over that. And it goes all the way up to the Esprit Alpine, which we're in, which gets so much more extras involved in it, and that's just under £40,000. But what do you get for your money? You get a lot of vehicle. The Renault Austral is a stunning, stunning car to drive, and it's way up there in the top of my love list. So for our drive today, 34.4 miles, and 19 of those miles has been on full EV. So that's quite good considering we've been on motorway, country roads and urban areas. Renault have got it absolutely spot on. It's a good mixture, and the full EV experience of driving this car, lovely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Renault Austral, and the best thing you guys can do is head to a Renault dealership for Arnold Clark and see if you can sample the actual car. Then in the box below, drop some comments. Yes, I agree with you, it's a very comfortable seat, and I do like how the massage does work in your lumbar. Tell me, do you agree with how easy all the instruments are to work in this car? I've been Duncan Vincent, and this has been the Arnold Clark YouTube channel. Remember, like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload from us. And until next time guys, safe driving.